GEMS was invited to as a keynote speaker at BMCC for this event for Women's History Month. For many reasons. We are a girls and young women's empowerment program. So although we focus on girls and young women ages 12 to 24 who have experienced commercial sexual exploitation and domestic trafficking, we are focused on all girls and young women's empowerment. So that is our message ultimately, and we are based in Harlem in New York City, so I think as a local organization, we really speak a lot on what's happening here in the city, in the community where we're all living.
Oftentimes when we talk about the term commercial sexual exploitation as well as domestic trafficking, it's a little term that most people associate with international or global issues. It's really difficult for people to grasp the fact that this is a domestic issue, and not only domestic within the nation, but right in their own backyard, in their own communities, in their own neighborhoods, because of what they've become adapted to, of kind of like the norm, right? And not addressing that there are victims in this and the common age of entry, and that this is actually a prevalent issue of violence, of force, of coercion, of vulnerability. A lot of the issues that are not addressed, that this is one of the causes of it. So
I came here when I was 16 from a Muslim family, so the culture was totally different. So when it comes to relationships, what was expected here and what was expected back home was totally different. So the first relationship I got into, it slowly progressed into domestic violence situation, and I was a teenager, so I stayed in there for almost 4 or 5 years, and I was physically, sexually, and mentally, emotionally abused. Also economically, I was dependent on the person, so it was very hard for me to get out of it, and I didn't think I would be in college, but finally after years of taking break, I came back. And I'm here now, graduating this semester, and I'm trying to share my story and tell everybody else that no one should be able to tell you just because you're a victim, you always don't have to stay a victim. You can become a survivor and inspire everybody else.
GEMS is, as an organization that combats commercial sexual exploitation and domestic trafficking, we don't just focus on that large issue. We understand that commercial sexual exploitation does not happen in a vacuum, that it occurs due to many other social issues in our society, in our community. We're dealing with racism, we're dealing with sexism, we're dealing with classism, with gender-based violence. These are things that people are often uncomfortable discussing, yet in our trainings, in our talks, these are topics that we bring up because we understand the importance of addressing them in order to combat this larger issue of commercial sexual exploitation.
success is measured differently. I mean, success for us with our girls and young women could be that they've been enrolled back into school. It could be that they've attained housing. It could be that they've attained a job. Success is measured differently. There is not one particular idea of success that we have. We're an empowerment-based organization, so we're empowering the girls and young women to access to other choices, other resources to continually build upon their lives, because even when they leave GEMS doors, they're able to make those choices and able to access resources and continue on a life. We have a model of victim, survivor, leader, right? We acknowledge that our young people are victims. We push them and empower them to get into survivor, but we also encourage them that they're more than survivors, right? They're leaders in the community, they're leaders in their lives, and that's exactly what we empower them to do.